Mm, mm, mm. Ooh, hair's looking rough. This is what the quarantine does to you, huh? All right. Give it a couple minutes for everybody to hop on. Appreciate you guys hopping on early for sure. Sup, Rebecca? Gotta get Amira on the call. You guys can hear me, right? Good. Okay. All right, cool. We're gonna give it a couple minutes. Looks like a couple last people are hopping on. No, Kalina, and I'll post in the group again. Oh, we got right here in the building, live. Look at this guy.
What's up, guys?
All right. Is Morgan on?
No, I'm about to text him.
Yeah, text him. Do you have the link? Or you just send him the link? Give it a second, mute up. All right, all right, all right. Still waiting on a couple people, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's 5 minutes after 10. We got Erica. What's up, Erica? We got Javon. We got Rebecca. We got 13303. No, I'm kidding. We got Ashley. We got Todd in the building. We got Kalina, brand new. We got Stephen Ellis. You don't know who you're going to get with Stephen Ellis. It could be Spider-Man. It could be this, that, another. He could be climbing a wall. He could be jumping. He could be doing parkour. It's just everything with this man. Amira, Raphael, love your name, brother. We got Daniel, Ramirez, Matthew, Jackie. We got Thomas Whalen. I'm surprised you don't show your face, bro. You're the prettiest guy I know. We got Patrice. We got Quinn, second prettiest guy I know. I don't know, some competition there. We got Matthew. I'm not sure. We got so many Matts on the team. I'm going to assume that's Matt Brown because Matt Hunsberger got a picture. But and then we got Alexander. We got Alex. So we're probably still missing a couple people. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Couple quick things, guys. I know people are going to be popping on and things of that sort. Couple quick things. You know, I know we're in a workshop. I hate talking to pictures. So if you guys can, you know what I mean, you know, show face as much as you can. Like I said, I hate talking to pictures. You know, it's I don't know. Someone can be at Walmart shopping right now, and if you are, please grab me something because I haven't been able to leave the office in days. I pretty much sleep here. That's why I got the comfiest couch you can possibly get. All right. So couple things I want to say, guys. I'm very privileged. I'm honored, always honored, and I say this with humility. I'm always, you know, just privileged to be able to speak to all you guys. Every single one of you on this call is destined for greatness, especially out of all the places. You guys could have picked any freaking industry to be in, any industry, and you guys picked sales. And then you could have picked all the locations in the entire world, and you guys picked Des Plaines. And then you could have picked all the type of sales to do. Think about this. You could have picked any sale. You could have sold cars, vacuums, electricity. You could have sold anything, and you decided to sell insurance. Okay. Then out of all the agencies, out of all the teams, you ended up on our team. I mean, think about all the things that had to line up for you to actually be here. Do you believe in everything happens for a reason? Because I think that happened for a reason. Every one of you guys has leadership in you. You guys have talents and you guys have abilities, and you guys are here to be able to use those and utilize those and get where you need to be. I don't want you guys to look at success like it's a freaking option. I want you to look at success like it's your duty, it's your obligation. Like you came here to be obligated to be successful. All right. You have to be. There's no option. There's no option. There's no grass is greener on the other side. There's no plan B. This is plan A, all in, not sticking your toes in, going 110%. All right. That's what I'm talking about. So once again, like I said, I'm privileged to be able to speak to all you guys. You know, I've been with AIL for about 4.5 years. Those of you guys that don't know me, like I've mentioned before, I was a top producer in the whole company in 2017, 2018, March Madness winner, won a car with the company. Been like top 3 since I've been here. And I say that with humility because I've learned a lot from these workshops. I've just taken little nuggets. Like if you guys notice in my presentation, there's things that we've added, and it's because of workshops like this where I've learned little nuggets from other people and was able to kind of bring those up in the script and proactively beat a lot of the objections. So truly there are some beasts in here, but one thing, and I want to be real with everybody, and those of you guys that know me, especially my team, you know, I'm always very transparent and real, and maybe a little bit loud sometimes, you know, and maybe a little bit, you know, stern sometimes. But, you know, one of the things I want you guys to know is there's a lot of beasts, but sometimes when it's time to be a beast, a lot of people don't do what beasts do. You know, a lot of people, they get tattoos of freaking lions, roar, right? And they get tats of all this craziness, right? But then when it comes time to being a lion, They don't do what lions do or what beasts do. If you truly look at a lion's a freaking beast. If you ever watch a lion chasing a gazelle, if you watch, the lion hunts and hunts and hunts and chases and chases and chases. If that gazelle gives up and goes on its back, what does the lion do? I thought the lion would eat it up. But the lion literally just starts playing with it, looking around. You know why? Because the lion doesn't care about the prize at the end. The lion cares about the process. What he cares about is the hunt. Now more than ever, the hunt is all day, every day. That's where the hunt is. It used to be from 4 to 9 is prime time. Now we're virtual. People are off. A lot of people aren't working. We got stay-at-home moms. We got people working from home. Now more than ever, the hunt is every day, all day. Okay, a lion doesn't look and say, oh, it's 3 o'clock. I'm done hunting for today, right? The lion doesn't look around and is like, all right, I'm done. I'm finished. No, the hunt is all day, every day to feed them and their family, right? The lion doesn't look around saying it's Sunday. I can't work Sunday. I can't hunt on Sunday. No, the lion thinks hunt. I love the process. I am a true beast, a true lion, right? So you got to look at your mindset. You got to compare yourself to the elite, the best, okay? You have to. Who are you comparing yourself to? For me, I was never the best, but I always compare myself to the best. I was never perfect. I'm still not perfect, but I would compare myself to perfection so I can even just come close, right? I would always just try to come close. Never got there, but always try to get close. So you need to be playing with the process. You need to fall in love with the shit that sucks. Excuse my language. Stuff that sucks. Who likes making calls? Nobody likes I don't like making calls. If I could, I would delegate that to every trainee, to every freaking, I would pay a telemarketer or a caller just to call for me. I don't like making calls. I don't like waking up in the morning. Nobody likes waking up in the morning or staying up till 2 in the morning. Who likes doing that? Right? But we'll do that to go out and party till 2 in the morning. Right? We'll go out and get really competitive with beer pong till 2 in the morning, right? But we can't get competitive with something like sales or something like a career that's going to change our lives. If you came to sales to make money, I hate to tell you, there's no money in sales. There's no money in sales. You don't make a dime in sales. You make money when you close. That's when you make money. You make money when you close. Closing's everything, okay? But this first step is you got to be committed. In order to be a big writer, because we're talking about sales. What is sales? Sales is a transfer of belief. That's what sales is. That's the definition of sales. But he wanted me to talk about how to be a big writer, right? I've done $27,000 dollar weeks. I've done $30,000 weeks. I've done 20,000. I've done 20,000 probably 50 times in my career. But that stuff is easy. You have to start with 8,000. I used to look at 8,000 like, how can somebody do 8,000? I used to look at that and be like, holy, if I can do 8,000, I make $4,000, I'd be set, right? But then when you do 8, you're like, you know what? That wasn't too bad. I could do 10. Then when you do 10, you're like, oh, I could do 12. Then you're like, oh, I could do 20, right? So the first step of being a big writer, you have to be sold yourself. Sales is that transfer of belief. So you have to 110% be sold yourself. They say the eyes are what? The window to a man or a woman's soul. You got to look them in their eyes and you got to tell them exactly what the deal is. You got to tell them with your eyes what the deal is. You have to be, I'm talking about all in committed to sales, closing, in this deal. You got to be sold on the 3 things. The first is yourself, then the company, then the products. Those are the 3 things they buy. They buy you first, Then they buy the company. Then they start buying the products. But we have to understand the concept behind this and understand the way the world is going around as well. I'll be able to go into that, but I'm talking about a do or die mentality. Like I'm talking about all in, 110%, obsessed, laser focused, eat, sleep, breathe, AIL for life. American income life. It's my life, right? This is going to be your life. I'm not talking about, like I said, sticking your toes in the water. I'm talking about diving in. You ever get those people that are over there by the pool and they're like sticking their toes in? They're not sold. They're actually probably cold, right? You got to dive in, all in, do or die mentality, like your life depends on it. Because as a matter of fact, it does depend on it. Okay. It's never the career that's the problem. I noticed that it's never the career that's the problem. If you're ever like, man, the leads or, the pandemic or whatever it is, what I found out was I had to understand that I was the problem. It's never the career. It's never the relationship half the time. Usually I'm the freaking problem, right? So in order to realize that you're the problem, I'm the problem, we're the problem, is having that ownership mentality versus victim mentality. It's hard to adapt this. If I went, anything that would happen, I always blame myself. Anything. Yep, you're right. It's my fault, right? Adapt this ownership mentality instead of being like a victim. A victim's like, you know what? It was because of my dad and the way he raised me. That's why I'm not successful. That's a victim mentality. Where you are in your life, where we are right in this current position is because of us, nobody else. Nobody else. If I'm at a red light and I get hit, I'm literally at a red light, just stop there. If I get hit from behind, I'll blame myself. You know why it was my fault? Because I should have left earlier. It's my fault. You have to have an ownership mentality in everything you do. And people always ask me, like, how do you stay so motivated all the time? I just stay busy. I don't have time to think about anything other than the grind. I just stay busy. Prepping the schedule, rewriting the schedule, determining the distance between each appointment. If I'm in appointments, prioritizing certain appointments. You ever see those people that are depressed on the couch? Nothing against those people. I've dealt with my family having that, a lot of my friends, but I can guarantee you those people that are on the couch depressed and in their feelings, if there's a fire that breaks out, they're going to be motivated to get off that couch. You got to find some sort of motivation, some fire within. Okay. A true beast is doing what they're supposed to be doing when nobody's watching. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I sure as heck didn't know this. 5% of the world can do what they're supposed to when nobody's watching them. 5%. Guess what? In this deal, nobody's really watching you. When you're out there in the field, even when we're at the office and we got our door shut, we're in the corner, whatever it is, nobody's really watching you, right? We might hit you up every now and then, but only 5%. So are you within that 5%? It's hard to be. It takes discipline. Discipline is doing what you're supposed to be doing, even when you don't feel like doing it. Not when you feel like doing it. It's when you don't feel like doing it. Hey, it's late at night. I know I shouldn't be eating a brownie right now, but you know what? I'm going to eat it anyways. That's lack of discipline. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I feel you're in your feelings. I feel like I don't care, and I feel like I'm going to eat it anyways. That's in your feelings. That's not discipline. In order to be disciplined, you have to do what's required, even when you don't want to do it. I always say the job isn't done when you're exhausted. The job is done when it's done, right? The job is done when it's done. All right. And maybe I'll only hit 2 of you guys today. There might be 10, 15 people on the call. Maybe I'll only get to 1 of you guys. But if I change the mindset of 1 of you guys, I'm happy. No takers or money makers. Remember, knowledge isn't power. Knowledge is a bunch of freaking BS. It's the implementation that truly creates the knowledge and the power. Okay. So, when I first started, I swear to you, I thought I was committed. I thought I was grinding hard. I thought I was doing everything I possibly could. But it's just like if I told you to raise your hand right now as high as you can, and then I told you raise it a little higher. You raise it a little higher. And I'm like, raise it even higher. You're going to try. Some people are going to stand on their chairs just to make sure that they can raise their hand even higher. Because initially they thought they were going as high as they could, but they weren't. There was a pivotal point in my career, and this is when it changed for me. I remember one time I was out in the field, relatively new to the business, probably 3-4 months in, and I was driving around and I was door knocking. I was out there, right, in the cold wintertime, and I knock on this person's door. I get there, show up. It was a husband, wife wasn't there. They gave me so much resistance at the door. They said, I was just seen by this agent, and blah, blah, blah. But I noticed that the kids didn't have coverage, and there was like 3 or 4 kids. So I told myself, relentless, sold myself, said, oh, no problem. That's exactly why I'm here. We just need to make sure we get you squared away and get you caught up with all the other members. This will be a final review, blah, 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 blah. So I booked him for later on that day, not next week, that day, like a true freaking beast would. Why are we talking about tomorrow? We're talking about today. So I booked him for that day. What do you know? I'm driving around trying to book more appointments. I get a voicemail from him saying, hey, we need to cancel for tonight. What happens when someone tries to cancel on you? You don't answer it, right? You don't answer it. You just ignore it, right? A little bit later, I'm trying to book more appointments. I show up, right? I showed up, gives me all this resistance at the door. Wife somehow ended up liking me. He ended up loving me. Walk in. I literally enrolled one of the kids, 200 ALP. That 200 ALP made $100, right? That 200 ALP was the difference maker, the game changer in my entire career. Little did I know was the difference. A couple months later was trying to gain traction, was still running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to figure out this deal. Not making a whole lot of money, just trying to figure out the system. Flat tires, accidents, driving around. And, I get a call, and at that point, I wasn't saving people's numbers back then. And I get a call from a lady, and, it's crying. I couldn't even understand the voicemail. It was just like screaming almost, when someone's like hurting and they're just crying. And I listened to it again and again and again. I couldn't figure out who it was, so I called the number back. And, it was the mom of the kids that I signed up 2 months prior. And, I'm like, hey, what happened? What's going on? And she had told me that her daughter died that day. And she said that, their friends were playing with the gun in the bottom of the basement. And she got shot in the heart and died that day. Wow. Apparently the boyfriend was 18 years old, so he actually got trialed for like murder. Like they're trying to trial him, even though it was an accident. Nobody knows. But the first thing she said to me was, Giovanni, I don't have the money to properly bury my daughter. That's all I want to do is bury my daughter. Is this going to pay out? I said, absolutely. She put 2 months worth of premiums. It was, a couple bucks a month, and she got paid out $25,000. At that point, guys, I made it a point to give AIL everything I got. AIL for life. What we do is not something little. It's not something minute or small. It's big. It's huge. and we make a difference. That's why you got to be sold yourself. Don't let it be your first death claim before you get sold on this stuff, because we're not selling something like a car or a mattress where they can think about it and sleep on it. It's not something they can think about. It's something that, I know if they don't buy, we won't die, but someone will die eventually. And it's up to us. It's our job to be able to protect them. So, that story hits me. It still gives me the chills every time I even say it. I haven't said it in like a year. So, we need to understand that we are making a difference. They have to buy. If you do everything you possibly can, you give them everything you got, 6, 7 back and forth objection, rebuttals, and they don't buy, then you know what? You did everything you could, shame on them. I'd have to have that mindset sometimes. It's like, shame on them. I almost want to go back to the house and keep calling them every week till they do it. You know what I mean? Like a stalker or something, you know what I mean? But the sad reality of it is, if you don't close them that day, the likelihood of them getting insurance is like never. You ever sit with someone that's 65 years old, 75 years old, and they still don't have life insurance, even though they've been sat with our company? Oh, I've sat with you guys multiple times. Okay. How do you still not have life insurance? You want to think about it again? I don't think we have much time to think about it anymore, Joe. Right? Like, that's my mentality. I'm not saying that to Joe, but I'm like, Joe, you're 75 years old. How much more time do we have? Right? God forbid. I mean, we're one bad doctor visit away from being uninsurable. Right? So we need to adapt this mindset of having that ownership, that it is our responsibility. Right? But also, if you mess up your script and you didn't practice, I want to think about it, and they hit you with this stuff and we get beat, shame on us. Shame on us for not reading that extra book or knowing our objections or rebuttals and being able to master that stuff. Shame on us for that. But if we got this stuff mastered, and we're never going to be, perfect. Like I said earlier, I've always strived for, never going to be perfect, but it doesn't happen in a day. We got to understand it's going to happen every single day, daily. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you guys can agree with this. The selling, because we're talking about selling today. This is a sales call. This isn't a leadership call. This is a motivation call. This is a sales call. We need to understand the concept and how the world has changed when it comes to selling. Okay? People are more they're actually less trustworthy than they've ever been. I'm sure we can agree on this. It's not what we sell as much anymore. It's how we sell, right? It's how we sell. People are conditioned to think that salespeople are there to take advantage, right? They think we're there to rape and steal the village, right? That's what they're conditioned to think in their brain. It's up to us to kind of separate ourselves and show them that we care. Because remember this, people don't give a crap how much you know. They care about how much you care. They want to know that you care about them. That's what they want to know, right? So the other thing is, what separates someone that's professional versus unprofessional is building that trust and credibility. Trust and credibility will be the biggest asset to a salesperson. It is the most important asset that we have. We have to understand how the world is going around. They're getting called by scammers, telemarketers, salespeople all day, all week. We can't get offended when Joe calls us a scam on the phone. We can't get offended by that, right? We have to understand that maybe they've been scammed before, right? Maybe they just got their guard up because they've been scammed before. Or maybe we need to understand this, is that just because we're from the union, just because we are a union company, doesn't mean they have to buy from us. Doesn't mean shit, excuse my language, doesn't mean anything, okay? The client doesn't believe anything you're saying. Just call it what it is. They don't believe anything you're saying. I assume that the client doesn't believe anything I'm saying. That's why I wear a name tag. That's why I wear an AIL polo. I assume they don't believe I even work for the company. I don't even believe they believe that my name is Giovanni. I don't believe that that's why I show them my license. I show them my card. Because if you have that ownership mentality and you realize, we all realize that we have an understanding that they probably don't believe us, we're going to do things a little bit differently and proactively show them this stuff to create that belief and trust. Because remember, sales is that transfer of belief. So that's why I show them the letter from the union. I don't skip that. I never skip that. I show them the 3x5 yellow card. If I'm sitting down with a referral, guess what I show them? I show them the picture that I took with the referral. That's exactly why it drives me nuts when people don't take a picture with the client. That's not very smart. It's like if I was running a race against someone really fast. I don't know, Javon, you look like you're fast. I know Steven's probably pretty quick. Let's say Steven and Jay had a race, and then Javon literally took a gun right before the race. He literally took a gun. He was like, bang, shot himself in the foot. Would that make any sense whatsoever? That's what we do sometimes. We literally shoot ourselves in the foot before we even sit with the member, right? Have the picture lined up, ready to go. Hey, you remember this guy? Yeah, that's your dad. I'll tell you what, we probably spent more time than we should have with your dad. I'll tell you what, he has 6 pit bulls. I've never seen someone with 6 pit bulls. How about you, right? Now that trust has already been built, immediate trust, okay? Trust and credibility. I'm telling you, this is the reason why we lose sales, is trust and credibility. It's not that I want to think about it. It's a bunch of BS. The only reason why they want to think about it is they actually want to see if what you're saying is true. So they want to research you, right? I can't afford it. Dude, if a doctor told me, God forbid, somebody like had cancer or something like that, and they told me I need to do this or I'm going to die, or I'm going to get really sick, I would listen to them. Why? Because the doctor has the credibility, the trust. You trust 2 things. One, that the doctor is who they say they are. That's the first thing. Sometimes they don't even trust that we're who we say we are, right? Second thing is we trust that the doctor is doing what's in our best interest. They don't believe that we're doing what's in their best interest. They think that we're what? Trying to get one over on them. People are conditioned to think that. So it's our job to proactively beat that stuff. Assume they don't believe anything you're saying. You know, it's funny. I don't believe anything they're saying either. Oh, I'm busy. I got a birthday party. I don't even believe they have a birthday party coming up. I don't believe they're going on vacation. Grandma just died. I have a big heart, but I don't really believe them half the time. I don't believe them. So go at that. And that goes against everything I grew up, like say thank you. I said thank you to all my teachers at the end of class. I don't know. It's just like something that I grew up with. But you don't say thank you in this deal. They should be thanking you. Goes against everything I learned at growing up in my family and stuff like that. But you need to understand that we need to understand. Look, they did a study. Okay, let me see if I can find this study. First of all, okay, because I'm telling you, the reason why I'm stressing this is the importance of trust, and like why this is so important is because of their own embellishments, exaggerations, and straight up lies that they've given. That's why they've lied themselves. Why don't they think someone that's commission, right? They don't know, insurance, sales, they've lied themselves. Why wouldn't they think that someone like me wouldn't lie? Why wouldn't they? We need to understand how they're thinking. Okay. I have a question. Do clients lie? Do members lie?
Yeah.
Yes, right? Of course they do. Buyers are liars. Write that down. Buyers are liars. I hate to say it, buyers are liars. They did an interesting study. The study by Robert Feltman. They said that basically during a 10-minute conversation, they grouped up like a big group of people, okay? During that study, there was 2.92 inaccurate things said about that person in a 10-minute conversation. So in other words, 3 lies in 10 minutes. Think about that, guys. People literally in 10 minutes of a conversation can't even tell the truth about themselves. why would we not think that these people are lying or that they don't believe that we're lying? Now, here's an interesting question. Who do you think lies more, men or women?
Women.
Men.
The men are saying women, of course. The men.
No, I definitely think we lie more.
Actually, you know what? The women said men, and I think the men said men. No, I'm just kidding. No, honestly, men and women, they lie equally, as a matter of fact. Men
Women
and
just get caught more.
that could be true. I don't know. What if I had a piece of paper that said that women lie more? No, I'm just kidding. No, it's actually men and women lie equally, but for different reasons. Everybody lies for different reasons. So it's up to us to be able to understand this stuff. I'm telling you, I wish I knew this stuff when I first started, but I went about things much differently after I understood why trust is so freaking important. Okay. So if the client knows that they lied and they have been lied to, should they actually believe us? I don't know. We have to constantly be showing ways to prove ourselves, right? We constantly have to show this. Even something simple. Let me see. I got another study here. It says studies show that 75% of the time the client is looking at you on average. But on the other hand, on the contrary, we look at the client less than 40% of the time. Okay. So they're looking at us 75% of the time. We're looking at them 40% of the time. You know, maybe we're pitching, we're not looking at them. That's why when I'm drawing out term and whole life, if you notice, I'm like this. Like I'm literally drawing, I can see it. I can see the image, and I'm actually drawing out looking at them. Because you know why? I was in a sit with even Rebecca. We went 3 sits, 2 sales, 3,500. What happened in the first sit? Didn't let it discourage me, but every single time I was like this, she was rolling her eyes. And Rebecca said, "This girl keeps rolling her eyes at you." I said, "I know. It's part of the game, baby. Come on. It's part of the game. Who cares?" That's why we need to step up, get out of our feelings, and realize this shit happens to me too. Okay? It happens to me too. We need to understand that the more we bring up the importance, the trust, the belief, the less they're going to do that stuff. But even myself, 2 out of 3 times, I still got beat by one. Old lady, I couldn't beat her. She was closing me, right? 70 some years old. Probably couldn't even qualify because of the pandemic, but I'm still trying. So does that make sense, guys? You with me? This stuff is so freaking important. So freaking important, guys. Now, I want you guys to understand control is very, very vital. Control is so freaking important, guys. And it has to be sequential. You start with the control. Don't start with rapport. Don't start right when you get on the Zoom or don't just start building rapport with them. You got to get the control first. The control is vital. First thing I say when I jump on the Zoom, hey, real quick, can you hear me? I don't say, can you see me? Because if they say, yeah, I can see you, then I know they can hear me. So I say, hey, real quick, can you hear me? Okay. Can you see me? Oh, perfect, perfect. Now, Joe, real quick, go ahead and grab that quality control confirmation number. If they say it's upstairs, I make them go grab it. Right? Make them do stuff for you, because when psychology tells you when you have them do little things for you, you ever have trouble getting the check at the end? It's because you probably haven't asked for enough things in the beginning and throughout, that at the end they're like, right? They're like, what am I getting up for now? But if you constantly, they're getting up, they're doing this. I'm like, hey, go grab your license. They grab their license. They sit back down. I'm like, can you grab your, real quick, the last thing we need is a voice check, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, you want me to go grab that? They already know now. It's already conditioned their brain throughout the process that they've been doing stuff for us. Doctor walks in, put your arm up, put your leg out, do this, do that. Dude, he doesn't ask for permission. He's not like, may I grab your arm? You know what I mean? He's in and out. He's important. He's busy. He's important. He's in control, right? You got to look at it as a recipe. Okay. If a doctor, and I know my team has heard this multiple times, but if a doctor has a huge procedure and he has to follow every step of the procedure, see, my team's nodding their head. They've heard this. Every step, you have to follow the steps of the procedure, or else at the end, you can freaking kill somebody, right? If you don't load a gun properly, it's not going to fire at the end. If you don't put the proper recipe to a cake together, you might get a cake at the end, but it's not going to be the cake that you wanted, right? Kids might like it, but it's not good enough for Todd Kiske. He's picky. He's a picky man. So we need to understand that there's a sequential order to the process, and we need to start with control. Control is directly correlated with retention. How many times you guys get to sit and the wife's running around? Oh, I'm listening. I'm just making some dinner. She runs over here, right? And you're like, oh, you're too, maybe we're too scared or nervous to lose the sale. So we're like, all right, let me just let them do what they want to do. And maybe because I'm being understandable, they'll understand when I get to the check. It's not how it works in our deal. It's not how it works. If Merrick gets out of the screen, oh, okay, I'll wait for you to come back. Did you have to hit the restroom real quick? Okay, perfect. Yeah, I got the bladder of a 2-year-old. I'm probably going to need to go as well. Okay. But Joe, how long you been in the union? You said 10 years? You plan on retiring? I'm talking with Joe. I'm not starting until she gets back. You know why? Because this is a direct correlation with retention, like I said. So we're going to get the check, right? We're going to go to the end, let's say, and she's like, oh, okay. Like you go show the options, let's say. And she comes in, she's like, oh, okay, what are we doing here? Why are they so expensive? You know why? She didn't listen to the presentation and realize that whole life costs more than term, and people are conditioned to think that life insurance is cheap because they hear about it on TV. Oh, $200,000 for $20 a month. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. They get letters in the mail. You can get $200,000 for $10 a month, right? It's not true. That's BS. That's not how it works, right? So she comes over. She's like, "Why are these so expensive?" And I'm being reactive. There's proactive and reactive. Now you're being reactive, going back and forth with them, right? You want to be proactive. Hey, real quick. Hey, Mary, if she's busy running around, I'd rather reschedule. Hey, I'll tell you what, we designate this time frame for you. We got like 6 members waiting on us. Here's our schedule. Boom, show them the packed schedule, because people, what? They believe what they see, not what they hear. Show them. Here's our schedule. Run around like a chicken with her head cut off. Honestly, if right now doesn't work, I do have like 6 members waiting on me. We're gonna have to reschedule. Do you think they're gonna want to reschedule? Hell no. They're like, all right, that's fine. Let's just do it, right? But that's control right there, because you're busy, right? 6 members after you. You're important. Guys, this is a very important information we got to make sure we go over. I got to have you, we want to eliminate the we want to. It's we have to. The company requires. Say words that are very assertive like that. Don't use cool. Yeah, cool, man. I see it all the time. Yeah, bro. Like, I was like coming in like with the worst. You're seeing a polished version of me. Should have seen when I first started. I was a knucklehead. All right. Still a knucklehead, sometimes people say. So, but you got to be like really precise with your verbiage. Perfect. Yeah, that's 110% term. No. Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally understand where you're coming from, but it's 100%. Not like, I want to check on that. Usually it's term. That's not selling. That's them selling you. It's sell or be sold. They're going to start selling you on why they don't need it or why they want to think about it, or you're going to sell them on why they can't think about it and why they do need to do it. Okay, it's sell or be sold. So the control, though, you don't even have to say it in the best way. Like you guys are brand new, a lot of you guys. You're not going to say it perfectly, but if you have the control, they'll listen to you. So you might not even say it in the most ideal way or perfect way, but you got the control, so they'll listen to you. And if they listen to you, the stuff sells itself. The stuff sells itself. You can Sit with 10 people and stumble upon 2,000. You can stumble. You got to set the stage. That's what I mean by get Mary in the screen. I'm telling you, how many times, Rebecca, even the one sit, the dude was like this. He was over here in his lounge chair. Guys, we got to get them uncomfortable. They can't be comfortable. That's how they start falling asleep during your presentation. Mary's, remember, Rebecca, her name was, it was 2000 LP. It was like 1900. It was Diane. She's over here like, yeah, I can listen to you. She's a teacher. And then her husband, I forget her husband's name. He's over here like this. I'm like, Robert, where are you at? And he's like, I'm over here, JL. And I was like, we got to get your beautiful face in the screen here, Robert. He's like, and she's like, oh, he's in his recliner. He's comfy. I'm like, that's exactly why we got to get him over here. Because, you know, like we don't want him to be comfy, right? So I made him and he kept doing this. I'm here, JL. I'm like, and throughout the presentation, those people that are trying to get out of the pitch, now when Term and Whole Life comes out, hey, Joe, I'm going to pick on you this time. Joe, what do you think happens at 55? Sorry, what, Joe? It's called a double tie down, right? You say, what do you think happens? Or you'll be like, does that make sense? I'm sorry, what? Right? Like when I'm like, like I'm in the screen too. I'm animated as shit, right? So I put my hands up here. Now I got this new camera that's up here instead of down here. So it's different for me. If I'm using my hands, usually it's down here. Now I got to put my hands up here. You know what I mean? Like I gotta be in, like, I'm like, that's a nice place you guys got there. Like I can actually see inside. I'm like, that's a nice place you guys got there. You don't have to give me a whole tour, but maybe pick up the laptop and see what's around you. And they're like picking up the laptop. They're showing me the whole place. They're like, yeah, yeah. And I'm making them do stuff for me because it's part of the control process. Go close them down, boy. So understand, guys, we got to set the stage properly. We got to get them both in, got to get them both listening. You got to use tie downs throughout the process as well. So, hey, does that make sense? Use at least 50. Use at least 50. In order to be a 50% closer, you have to use at least 50 tie downs. At least 50. And the last thing I'll touch base on, guys, because I can talk about sales all day with you. And I love it. And last couple things here. 2 things. Internal objection versus, I didn't see what that, someone said something. Hold on one sec. I'm scared to ask for, what? Say that, Amira. I can't read what you said.
So you were like, oh yeah, show me a tour or whatever. And that woman was like,
oh
no,
yeah.
No,
we're not gonna worry about that situation.
That's the only one I've seen.
Yeah. Everybody that I've trained on this call knows that usually that works. It just didn't work that time. Remember, it's like this, girl. It's like if you ask for referrals and the first time you do it, it doesn't work. I'm done with referrals. I'm done. They don't work. No, that's not how it works. You ask again and again and again and again and again. Okay? So So I understand that one situation, but as one out of a million, okay? It's gonna happen, right? So if you ask for referrals and you don't get them one time, don't be like, Tommy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm done doing referrals. It's not how it works, okay? You gotta trust the process. And you know, we had one girl, what she's talking about is, one girl's like, let me, like, this girl had instant, it was a disaster waiting to happen. She's like, not even in the screen. She's like, and her husband's like, yes, was a douche over the phone, no offense. Great people though, because I want to make sure whatever they do, you're going to come across some mean people. It's part of the game. Who cares? And I did everything I possibly could. I wasn't skipping stuff, right? And it blew up. Who cares? I had someone shut the laptop on me. Who the hell cares? I've been kicked out of homes. Not as much anymore, right? But in the beginning, who cares? Who cares? If you do everything you're supposed to, I'm not talking about being combative and getting kicked out. I'm talking about, yeah, no problem. You know, if you get kicked out and they call and they're like, Erica came to my house and she tried to protect my family too much. That's a pretty good complaint, if you ask me. I got a complaint one time because I knocked on someone's door, like, not even a complaint. They were just wondering. It was like 9:10 at night. And Tommy went like this. Give me a pound, bro. He's like, now I know you were working until 9:10. That's what he said to me. He's like, bro, I'd rather get something like, you know what I mean? So I'm cool with it. So, but we have to beat these, and it correlates directly with this, is internal objection versus external objection. You have internal objections. When you beat your internal objections, like, hey, that laptop thing doesn't work, Gio. You got to beat that internal objection, or else you're never going to want to do it again. Or, hey, I tried to collect referrals one time. It didn't work. That's an internal objection we have to beat ourselves, because when you beat the internal objection, no enemy without can hurt us. You beat the internal, you can beat any external objection ever. You ever get those people that are like, I don't know, they're just so freaking sold on whatever they're going to do. They're like, I'm going to do this, and no one can talk them out of it. They're like, you know, dating a boyfriend, and you're like, dude, this boyfriend's a jerk. This, that, and another. And they're like, I love him. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen it. I love him, though. He's like, I'm telling you, he's good to me. Like, you're like, telling, like, I see what the heck's going on here. But they're sold. They have an internal, like, they can't beat it. You know what I mean? So you have to have internal objection. The last thing is situational awareness. We have to get situational awareness, okay? Situational awareness is what police officers use in order to proactively combat situations. If they don't properly get situational awareness down, they can end up getting hurt, killed, you know, before they do that. That's why they take the necessary precautions, like, you know, hey, license registration, like behind the windows, stuff like that. But they have to properly de-escalate situations before they turn into actual situations. That's what we do in our business. We have to have situational awareness and understand and realize if we don't properly de-escalate certain things, they may escalate, and we have to be reactive at the end. No one wants to be reactive. You always want to be proactive, okay? So they call that situational awareness. A good way to get good with situational awareness is just put yourself in multiple different situations so that you become aware of the situations, and also ask questions, read books. AIL will give you a tool belt, but you got to keep adding tools to that belt. You got to constantly add tools to the belt. It got to the point where you go to Google, you know, when you click on something and it turns a different color, it would be 3 pages down, and I've clicked on everything just to read and try to beat that. I want to think about it. Like, AIL is going to give you the tool, but you got to add tool, or the tool belt, but you got to add tools. And then you got to use the right tool for certain things. If I'm using, you know, I don't know, a screwdriver to hammer this ace on my wall, it's not going to work, right? But you got to use the right tools for the right things, okay? All right, guys. So in conclusion, I went over a lot of sales, and today is the sales call. I'm running the one on Friday as well at 10 a.m. Definitely hop on if you guys need some sales. I would encourage everybody to. And then next week's, I think Josh might be running it as well for next week. So we're going to do these every Tuesday and every Friday at 10 a.m. And this is where you can ask questions. This is where, you know, anything that you guys need, it's going to be out there for you guys. So if you guys need to contact me, I know Tommy has to, I guess, hop on this at 11, but if you guys have questions, concerns, or anything, you know, please ask me. I don't know everything, okay? But one thing I do know is I'll find out if I don't know. And I've been in a lot of situations, so I can definitely help out with a lot of different situations. So if you're struggling with closing, look within and find out what's happening within before you try to hit any external. Okay, guys? Thank you very much for your time. Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Let's go rock it today. Let's have a big week, and let's make it your biggest. Why not? Let's go. All right, guys. Let's get it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
For sure, guys.
Bye.
See you soon.